There's a million ways to die, but mankind is perplexed by one nagging question: what happens when we die? Next to sex and money, mortality is the subject that most occupies our minds. That's why death is our constant companion, our subliminal friend, that incubus of the soul that can be with us in the fleeting of a thought. That's also why most people have well thought out answers when asked the question, what happens when we die?
I hope that you go to heaven. I think that you do. I've never thought there was anything wrong with just at least believing that you go to heaven. It's not going to do you any harm, so I hope so.
Yeah, well, I think that we're spiritual beings that have existed before this time and exist beyond this time, and this just happens to be where we're most aware of right now.
You just die?
You just die.
Soul goes nowhere?
No.
Oh, there's a great life after death. You're just here for a while, and there's a better life after death. Better land above.
The hopeful answer to this question comes from the near-death experience. These are transcendent events that seem to prove consciousness survives bodily death. And since these events have such consistent elements, they can be studied by philosophers, scientists, medical doctors, and a host of other curious professionals that we call near-death explorers. It is their scientific work and the case studies of millions worldwide that provide our fascinating evidence of the afterlife. Over the years, I have traveled all over the world collecting the fascinating stories of those who have crossed the line into death and come back with glimpses of eternity. So compelling is their research that I've written 10 books on the subject of near-death experiences, 4 of them New York Times bestsellers. Near-death experiences are extraordinary. The idea of leaving one's body at the point of death, traveling to a heavenly realm, and seeing beloved relatives is truly a hero's journey. And here's a few of those journeys now.
And I had this sense that I was going home. There was gorgeous flowers and colors that you don't see on Earth. It's like I had my body, but it wasn't a physical body. It was like kind of like a light body. I didn't really look at my body, but I sensed it was like full of light. And I found myself in the universe, just stars and galaxies, and it felt completely normal, like I was home.
I actually was able to go from the ceiling over right in front of my viewpoint changed to where I was right in front of the box, and I was watching the line going across the box, and it was just making this, monotone beeping sound, and it was just going beep. Somehow they couldn't get the defib unit in there in time, and they had a conversation. So the minute they took the oxygen mask off, I said, "Oh my God, that was an incredible experience." I was up on the ceiling, I watched you all, and I could see, everything that was going on and hear you. The actual experience takes away all fear that you have of passing over.
And then there's Jenny Summers, a graphic artist with IBM in Tucson, Arizona.
And evidently, I guess I had died because they were talking as if I couldn't hear them. And I started to float up out of my body, and I was encased in this love. It was just wonderful. And next thing I know, I'm in front of 3 moving kind of blobby shapes, and one of them is my great-grandma Julia, and she's telling me I need to go back, and they're saying you have to go back, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go back.
Lupita ran through the door, which shattered into sharp shards and covered her with 1,000 cuts.
I saw a lot of blood, and I saw my dead body just laying there. And the doctor came, and I remember him saying, "Oh my God, she's not gonna make it." So finally, I was pulled back, like with this reaction, and all the pain, the physical pain, came back to my body after I came back, and I was trying to get all the air I could into my lungs. Like I could not have enough air. and the doctor saying, she made it, she's back, she's back. I didn't come back the same. I was a different person. I was more spiritual, and also I became a more compassionate person, concerned for others, and feeling a sense of love. You're not gonna die. This is just a transition, and you'll be fine.
These stories have been told throughout human history, but Dr. Moody was the first to dissect them and discover their similarities.
There are a number of transformations we see with people who come back from near-death experiences. The most prominent one is that whatever they had been chasing before, whether knowledge or fame or power or money or any of these other things, that when they come back, they say that the most important thing we can do while we're alive is to learn how to love.
So join us as we explore the great beyond in Evidence of the Afterlife, the series that seeks to prove the afterlife one fascinating story at a time.